Uh, Hello, guys. Welcome to the new normal. Yeah, it's like every time someone has to do an online session has to mention the new normal. I was surprised that Zoom as a company has existed more than 5 years, I think, almost 10 years. But right now, this is the time we are feeling like it's the new normal. Okay. Today, I, Paul Akwabi, Ziri Isa, and Stephanie Maseki will be the conveners of this parent online safety webinar. It is the first one, and this has come out of a need that is there from parents. We all know what we are. Let me put my video so that all of us can be able to see. So we all know that not most, actually all children have been told to learn online. So our children are accessing and consuming online content more than how they have been doing before. And apparently this is the generation that is consuming internet than any other generation that has ever also existed. Before I just start, I want to give you an experience. A week ago, I had an issue that I had gone to solve, talking with a child who was actually accessing wrong content online. Um, I interviewed the child. He's just 11 years, to understand how how he got to know about that site he was looking at. The child told me that this one day he asked one of his uncle for a phone to play games. Then when he was searching the games, he met with that kind of website on the phone. And that is how he got addicted. And it's not one parent who's going through this. A lot of parents are going through this. There's some parents who don't know if they should buy their children phones, laptops, because they think that now that will be a portal that will be making them access wrong things. This is very true. Once a kid is plugged to internet, he or she is plugged to the rest of the world. But this session is just to tell you that there are some measures that we were able to take to do that, to control that. Now, I'll be taking you through the online safety. Aziri will be taking you through the practicability part of it, some of the tools you can be able to use. And Stephanie Maseki, who's also a profession in counseling, will be talking about raising the modern child. Then we will have a Q&A session as well. So, what parents need to know?
David,
parents need to know that we are the first ever generation that that is raising kids online, using internet and using online. That one, all parents should know. This is a new thing. It has never happened. And we can never raise our children the way we raised them, the way you were raised. You were raised when Zoom was not there. You were raised when the internet, Google wasn't there. So this is the new normal. This is the new environment. This is their world. We have to adjust. Right now, even schools have gone inside the phone. Yet, your times, you're being actually not allowed to go with the phone inside the school. So this is a world that is vice versa from your world. So our children know more about internet than we do. That one we need to agree. The earlier we agree actually as adults, the better for all of us. and for better for us to change the entire world. What parents need to know, it is our job as parents, teachers, caregivers, and everyone to guide children. There is no specific structure because this is a new thing at the end of the day. This is a new way of raising. So everyone just needs to have to play his role in making sure these children know the dangers of internet and everything about internet so that they know what to do and what not to do. Do you know what kids are facing? Actually, we cannot talk about us assisting children on what they're facing if we don't know what they're facing. We need to know what they're facing. So children are facing two statistics say 2 out of 10 children attempt suicide through online content. A child sees something online. There is this game called Well. There's another one, forgotten the name, but I'll be sharing later. They get a lot of content online that convinces them that they can commit suicide. They see a lot of movies and videos, the likes of TikTok, and you get that that's where they see the gun being cocked, and this makes some kids are attracted to that. So a kid grows with that mentality. It's a bit tricky for us to control that, and we all know, even in some of the TV programs, kids are able to consume such content. 1 out of 3 kids experience cyberbullying. Cyberbullying actually is a very simple thing, but it can bring a very big harm. For example, in some of the online sessions we usually have with children, you realize in just the Zoom class, when kids are playing around, there's a kid maybe who has misspelled his name, and other kids start now insulting him about that or just having fun about it. I've had a couple of sessions where a kid had to leave the class because he's so angry, and that is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is not about a kid going to Facebook, going to Instagram, and other people commenting a wrong thing. So just the online interaction, the new classroom that right now we are having, kids from different places, different background, having an exchange program online, and one of them just realizes that there's something funny. We've had actually a couple of them, and you get that another kid starts talking about the hairstyle of the other child. The other one talks about the head of the other. So the cloth this other child has worn, that is cyberbullying, and it's really affecting also them. So we need to come out strongly, and you need to know cyberbullying actually is not what we thought it was before. That our kid will go on Facebook and people might troll him in a wrong way. So we have child pornography. That statistics say from 2013, it has grown by 2,000%. This is alarming. And apparently, 40% of the content is created by the children themselves. So as much as we want to say about online child pornography, trust me, 40% is content created by just them. We have some children who have a lot of free time, others not even free time, because as parents we're busy trying to look to look for money, and they get the little time they get. So in this, what I can say is let's not even underestimate anything, because the figures that are out here, and online is there to stay. That's something all of us need to know. How do children get online? Okay, we have mobile devices, as I just said. This is including cell phones. Online doesn't mean even internet. We need to understand that. That phone that you leave at home with your child, so that in case you make a call at home, that child can be able to receive, and you make a follow-up on what is going on. That phone is a portal for that kid to be introduced to anything. Anyone who can get that number or through his friends, that's how they're able to land on. And you can agree with me, it's a bit hard to control that now. your child will not have any phone. It's better now even to know which phone that your child is using than just denying your child a phone. They get online through laptops, personal computers, of course, video game consoles. What children do online? Children do a lot of things online. They visit virtual worlds, play games, text each other. Like on the Zoom session, I could realize because you're able to text somebody privately. As you continue teaching, a teacher is busy teaching and kids are busy chatting privately. So there are things which you can't really control, just have to make the kid to be able to learn. They view different videos, and these are the videos actually that they use to make decisions that they are making. I've talked about the TikTok. Right now, TikTok has taken over our kids' mind. If you deny your kid your phone, trust me, the time you'll just go to work and come back, you'll have accessed so many different phones within your neighborhood, and you don't know the kind of content this kid is actually accessing. They listen to a lot of music. Um, the music that is being sung, we can all agree. This is still online because these musics they're being downloaded, played from our neighborhood almost everywhere. We can agree on this that the content of music that is being played right now, it is a content that can actually defile a kid's way of thinking, which means we need to play a role somewhere. So they access also through whenever they're just doing a very innocent research. A kid is just looking at maybe parts of a plant, something in biology or mitochondria, something, then he gets a pop-up on the screen. Then through that pop-up, he's able to learn that there is something he didn't know about something wrong, or a game he didn't even know. So we need to understand, first of all, what children do online. These are some of the things that they do. Children accounts. We have kids who have Facebook accounts. We have others who have Instagram accounts. You as a parent, if you stay there and tell your child, staki kukuona Facebook, I don't want to see you Instagram, I don't want to see you Snapchat, I don't, trust me, there is high possibility this kid has accounts which you don't know even about. You need to agree, have some agreement with these kids. I know of few parents who are in control and it's really working for them. They even have a time that this kid has to go online. He has all login credential for this child. So you just need to allow them because it is their world. It is their new way of even interacting. Just have all the passwords. Have time to be checking even when you're at work what is going on into these accounts, but have agreement with especially time when they're allowed to do that. It can just be maybe once a week, at most actually once a week. So children accounts, what you need to do, don't put personal information. Don't let a kid don't use mostly his personal information, where he stays, so many things about himself or herself. Use a separate email on their accounts. Don't use the same account that you use on your personal emails or on your personal phone on your child's account. Because most of these things, whenever you want to subscribe, also even online learning, you have to put an email. Try as much as possible because emails are just free. Create a separate email. If you don't do that, you're opening a portal of also being hacked yourself. Because if somebody manages to go through your kid, then you're done. He's able to get a lot of content from you. Let your kids answer calls from only known numbers. As I said earlier, kids having phones right now is not like a new thing. It's not like something that's not supposed to be there. But try to advise them, try to make sure there are phones that have ability to block unknown numbers. Make sure you control with that, so that this kid is only able to access right people who can call him or her. So then whenever you're using any laptop or computer at your home, make sure your kid has a separate account that has less rights, which is not an admin. So he can't install anything in that computer. He can only be a user, and that's it. It will be easy and safe also for you, because at times he might be able to, through the things he clicks, he might be able to access something that will be fetching data. And if he's using your account and it has important data, trust me, that data actually might be manipulated. Try to put unpredictable passwords, because through if you don't have strong passwords, also you are able actually to be hacked at some point. So what do we do out of all this? What do we do? We need to understand it's okay to be online. At last, it is okay to be online. That's not a secret. Right now, up to January 2021, which we are still not sure if we are going back to school. I just saw some picture going online. There is a school which has turned to be like a bush. We have even zebras there. So by 2021, we don't know even what will have happened. And these schools will need even a lot of renovations, because there are no students, then there's no maintenance and so many things. So January will reach, then maybe schools will realize, no, we need even more time to renovate. Or maybe we'll be having a third phase of COVID-19. We don't know. So I'm trying to say this because online is there and it's there to stay. And we need, as early as now, if we believe that it's okay for a kid to be online, the better and the safer for us all. Something I'll just say before I continue with that. Did you know that all children who are in school today, the jobs they're going to do, 65% of the jobs they'll be doing do not even exist now as we are talking. They don't even exist. 65% of the jobs. This is a research. I was in an education and technology meeting, actually morning hours. Just we were trying to clarify and get the contents that are through the research that has been done by United Nations and other credited organizations. So if 65% of the jobs these children will be doing will be technology related and they don't even exist now, you need to think whenever you don't want your child to be online, and you need to start thinking on this new environment, what are we doing about it? So what can we do? We should warn our children on importance of privacy. They need to know what it means by privacy. They need to understand that as a fact. Remember, kids will be kids. They'll make mistakes. Today, he'll go to a wrong site at some point, then come back. Know how to control that. They are kids. Even when you are growing yourself, you are punished severally because of something that you could have avoided. So let's not handle them as adults, especially when they are online. They'll be making a few mistakes here and there. What is there is I can recommend, just give a kid a computer. Then after that, go and check the history. You are able to see if this child is going through wrong sites or right sites. As I said, Ziri will be taking you through a step by step on some of the apps and softwares to use to block them on that. Me, I'm just taking you through the overview on the online safety, the do's and don'ts. So what can we do? Talk to them about effects before they meet the experience. When somebody tells you about something before you meet that situation, you'll make an informed decision, either out of following what you're told or out of ignorance. So it's better they make informed decisions, not because you did not tell them, not because they did not know, but because they know the effects. Maybe they were just becoming curious, but they know the do's and don'ts. Uh, Online concerns and threats. What is supposed to concern us even most is on cyberbullying, because that is something that is there, and we need to make our children stronger. We need to explain to them. They need to be able to ignore anybody who's trying to diss them. These are supposed to be things that they should be expecting. If we don't make them expect that, then we are in trouble. With them being online, the threats are on self-harm and suicide, because that's what a lot of content they're meeting. Others are just small skits that don't mean anything much, but since it has packed that idea in the kid's mind, uh, it's a bit tricky. So also behavior and character. From nowhere, you'll see now a kid wants to uh, have a different swag, a different walking style. He wants to paint his hair differently, the Nicki Minaj style, because those are the contents these kids are actually consuming. So we need to be able to control what they are seeing. And as at the same time, they are seeing other kids who are their age owning cars or owning very fancy things. So this is the time just to explain to them about that world and the world this kid is and how to achieve the real thing, because others are not even real things. So some of other threats are on violence and crime, because it's being introduced to, I don't think if there is a movie that doesn't have fights. We have a lot of movies that have fights and crimes and all that, and others are so intelligent that a kid feels like this is the way to go. And some of the intelligence that are used in the movies and the content they're watching online, the intelligence that if that kid applies it even here, he's able actually to make a certain move without anyone realizing. Uh, Online threats, we have mental illness. Uh, that is among biggest threats, because he's trying to see and achieve things that he knows maybe, or she knows, or he knows that they're a bit tricky for him to be able to achieve. So apart from even that direct now to your child, we have viruses and spyware, and that's why I introduced the fact that you need to create an account for your child on the computer is using, that has less rights, so that he cannot also install anything, or else you'll be prone to viruses and spywares. So we have also sexual predators who are very keen, and they're using just the loopholes. This thing called hacking at times is not really like somebody has used any software. People usually just sit down and you play around with your ignorance. He knows very well that you're ignorant, and you leave your child to access everything because you overtrust your child. Then, since your child is the weakest spot, they use the weakest spot to bring you down. By the time you know it, these guys have really done too much. Okay, on cyberbullying, just to add on, uh, posting and forwarding private or embarrassing messages, those are some of the things that the kid is able to get, and he's able to be lured and convinced to maybe give out some information unknowingly, because these are kids. He's not able to be that much intelligent to explain much or to reason. This might be a trick, uh, or spreading of malicious rumors and stealing of password. So protecting against cyberbullying, what do we do? This is among the biggest thing, as I said from earlier on. This is among the biggest thing kids are facing. Even in the Zoom call, I've told you, kids are having sessions. Then one kid, something just happens. I've just remembered there's a certain kid of Aga Khan. They were having online classes, so I had gone to fix her computer, and her camera fell down when they were continuing with the sessions. So till to date, she's facing that actually as an issue from her peers, because I don't know what they thought. So they usually think that she fell down with the whole computer and it makes her mad. So cyberbullying is here, and we really need to make kids actually really understand about this. So we need to make kids understand that they should never respond to unkind remarks, that is especially online. We're talking about the likes of Instagram and the social medias. They should not participate in any cyberbullying that is going on. They should block any cyberbullying issue. Tell a trusted adult. You need to really get to know how you're getting a trusted adult or you become one, or else, yeah, this kid is prone to a lot of attacks. Uh, Save the posts just in case someone needs to, 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 to see. Notify law enforcement in appropriate. Notify your child's school if appropriate, especially right now when we are having these online sessions from schools and every other place. We have sexual predators. This is how they come. They masquerade as other children or an adult who's so kind, who can assist the kid to get the chocolate, not something even big. By the time this child understands, he's taken. They trick on sometimes on revealing information or lure teenagers into meeting them in person. And they learn also the patterns of how the parent is able to is is at home, the patterns on how you visit the home, maybe how you go to work and come back. So this is an area, especially we have had numbers skyrocketing about the pregnancies for girls, young girls who are still teenagers. So this is just some of the things they go through. And as I said, just the phone. And since this child can receive any call from anyone, and you've left this phone at home, he's able to talk to anyone who might give a very convincing information. For example, see, your parent is called so and so, and she works with this and this organization, and you have a brother who's called this and this. When you or something like that, would you question that person? Akikwambia, come, we meet somewhere here, you'll go because he's giving you almost a right the information that is there, and you feel like if this person knows about all this, then this is someone who really knows me well. So there's so many ways they used to trick them into that. So I talked about the keeping personal information private as much as possible. This is actually like the climax of what everyone is supposed to do. This is not even about the children, it's also about you. Learning how to use privacy settings. Become familiar with websites your child also visits. As I told you, don't fear leaving your children with computers. Don't. Give them, but go and check the history of what they've been accessing, even on your phone. Go and check the history of what they have accessed. Then block those websites that this child has been accessing. Because you cannot protect somebody from something you don't know. Ati utaki aingie kwa wrong site. This kid might not be knowing even that wrong site. So first of all, understand if he knows the site. So then we have the private settings and also softwares that lock different apps. I know our phones are usually the weakest points. You cannot create an account for a phone. But what I know very well you can do is you're able to have an actually a software that is able to lock other apps for them to not to access. So okay, there's so many ways. I'm looking at the time. I'll be sharing with you this presentation so that all of us are able to understand what they need, the do's and don'ts about online safety and basic ways to keep your child safe by keeping a computer in public area. so that they cannot start looking at anything that is strange through the screen. Those are among some of the few things. So with all that, I'll go to Ziri Isa to do his presentation, and then Stephanie. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be having some Q&As at the end, I believe so. Thank you. Ziri, I've seen someone is asking how to delete the history. Ziri will be showing you that.
Okay. Thank you very much for that brief presentation. Just trying to share my screen here. Just a moment. Can you see my screen? Paul, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, we can.
So I'm going to, my name is Ziri. I'm a software developer, and I'm also director of technology at Swahili Hub. And today's session, I'm going to take you through monitoring, blocking, and controlling of digital content for your teenagers and children. So this is what we're going to talk about. Why should you monitor your child's internet activities? And okay, on this, most of the items my colleague Paul has already talked about, so we'll just brush on them and maybe go to them to the second part where we'll discuss some of the inappropriate content that our children are exposed to, and then I'll also show you how you can block some of this content. There are free software tools that you can use. They're very easy to use. I'll show you particularly one that is very easy to use. You don't need to install anything, and it does the job quite well. And then there are other systems which require you to subscribe and maybe pay. So if you have, if you are able to, then those are also good tools that you can use. So why should you monitor your your child's internet activities? So as my colleague has talked about, he's talked length about cyberbullying, so I'm not going to talk about that. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to jump to this point here. So how to block, okay, blocking and online inappropriate content. So first of all, what sort of inappropriate content might our children see while they're online? So one of them is pornographic material. This is very common, has become very common. So a friend of mine with his kid, they were Googling about something about coloring, and then the things that came, it was not good. So he did not, or they did not intentionally want to view this material, but it came as one of the search results on the Google and that was not good. That was not a good thing. This is another item is content containing swearing. We've had this especially on YouTube and videos that have been uploaded on social media. There's also sites that encourage vandalism, crime, terrorism, all these. There's pictures, gambling sites, and moderated chat rooms. So quite recently, we launched a platform, a virtual platform for learning for some schools here in Mombasa. And one of the problems that we've been getting is, so while the teacher is in the class teaching, the children on the side chatting and doing all those sort of things. So one of the parents noticed this, and they contacted us, and we had to take measures against this. And so this is a platform that the school is using. There are several other applications out there that children are using, like social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, all that. They're using these systems, these applications, and we are not monitoring them. We as parents are not monitoring them. We don't know what they are exposed to out there, and this can be very harmful. We can have people prying on our kids, and this is not good. So it is good for us as parents to know what these kids are doing, and to be able to monitor this and to be able to block some of these materials, so that we're able to save them for we're able to safeguard them. So I'm just going to show you some of the tools, actually some of the tools that are very easy to use. One of them is AdGuard DNS. I hope I'm sharing my whole screen. So one of them is AdGuard DNS, which is free to use and easy to set up, as I said. So I'm going to show you how to set up this on your mobile phone and on your home router. So what this does, it provides you with minimal necessary functions to block ads. So while we are online, we get a lot of these ads, and some of these are not appropriate for our kids. We as adults, we might find them useful for us, but for our kids, some of these ads are really not appropriate. So this tool will help you to block these ads, and also help you to block malicious content, websites, and adult content, so that our children will not be exposed to this. So I'm going to show you how you can set this up on your mobile and on your home router. I've taken some screenshots. I was doing this earlier. So I've used this at my place, and my friends are using this. I've also tried to help my neighbors use this, and they're quite satisfied with this tool. It's free. So on your phone, if someone is doing this right now, just go to your settings, and then internet and network. Yeah, network and internet, and then go to the advanced panel. You will see the private DNS option. So when you click on that, you'll get this particular screen here that I've highlighted here. So you just select on the private DNS provider, and then put in this DNS -family.adguard.com. So once you save this, automatically, this is using an Android phone. I'll show you how you can use it on iOS and on your home router. But this is basically it. Once you click save, they won't be able to access adult content. Blocks will be ads will be blocked automatically. You as a parent don't have to know which sites are harmful to your kids. As long as you put this family option, DNS option, then these people, this site called AdGuard will block all of these automatically. They do this, they do research on all the harmful sites worldwide, and they put them under their blacklist, and children will not be able to access this once you activate this. It's very simple. You don't have to install anything. So if now this is on a single device on your Android phone. So if you are at home and you have so many devices and you're using maybe a home router, it is easier to configure it to configure this on the home router, and all the devices that are connected to that, they'll not be able to access any of that. So with the individual device, like this slide here, so this will protect them when they are connected over data, for example, Safaricom, and pia kama they are connected on your Wi-Fi, they'll also be protected against those malicious sites. So with this, this is my TP. This is a screenshot I took while I was at work. So go to your home router IP address. Most of the time is 192.168.0.1 or 192.168.1.1, and then you log in. Afterwards, go to the menu item called DNS settings. Most of the home routers have this. Mine at home doesn't have this, so I opted to go for the individual devices. But most of the home routers have these settings. So you just go there, and under the DNS option, you just insert either this IP address or this IP address and click save or update. So if you would like to set up this immediately after this, I'll be available online on WhatsApp. I think Paul will be able to contact Paul. He'll be able to share with you this presentation. I'll also be available to help you if you'd like to set this up. So this is very simple. You don't need to install anything. As I said, it's very simple to use, and it's free. It's a plus. It's a good thing. And then there are other tools that you can use. For example, I found Bark, which is very popular. It's an online tool. So what you have to do is create an account with them, and there's a free version, a trial version that you can try and see if it works for you. Afterwards, you can opt for one of the paid services. Let me just see if I can get the link here. So here it is. So Bark will help you manage and protect your children's online activities. They do monitor 30 plus applications, most popular applications. They do filtering, they do monitoring, they send you alerts to your phone when your kid is, for example, accessing some sites that are not appropriate, when they are being bullied online. When this tool will filter that the messages and all that, and you will get applications and you'll get notifications on your phone. That for those who are able to So it's not that expensive. So these are some of the applications that are monitored. As I said, so there is social media monitoring. You'll be able to know. So instead of you going through each and every phone in your house, checking their online social media and what they're doing online, this tool will be able to do that for you and send you reports, texts, screen time, the alerts that I was talking about, to also save you time and build trust, as they say. So you can use this. There are so many other tools that you can use, but the good ones are very expensive. And I can send a list of the tools that might be of help to you. But as of now, these two, I would recommend the first one, AdGuard, which is very easy to use, and it's free, and it works. Good thing, right? Yeah. So unless we have questions, I would like to throw the ball to Paul so that he can invite Stephanie. I'm not sure if Stephanie has joined. She was having trouble joining the meeting. So Paul.
Yes, I can hear you, Viri. Thank you so much for that good insight presentation. Apparently, we have exceeded time. Thought it will take us only 1 hour, but as all of you can see, we have so much to share about the online safety, the tools to use to block. So I've created actually a Google form, which you'll fill just with your email address and submit. Then we'll send you PDF of what we have been talking about. And we'll be having these sessions every month, at least once, because we understand our children are at home with us, and they need, this is information that is highly needed, especially at this particular time. I don't know if Stephanie will be able to join us. I'm seeing there's some parents who had already other things to do after 6. They're requesting to leave. Yes, just register on that link, then you can leave. We'll share what we have been doing here for presentation. Stephanie, if Stephanie's...
I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
okay.
We can hear you.
Okay.
So welcome, Stephanie. We are waiting just for you to start.
I'm here.
Can you proceed? Yes.
Good evening, parents. I know you guys have quite a lot to do, and being a weekend, and of course to be with family and especially your children, because we are here talking about children. And I'm sorry it took me a bit of time to join, but I did a while back using another device. So my name is Stephanie Maseki. I am an artist, just to be precise. I'm an actor. I am an MC. I am a radio host. I am an acting coach. Well, today I'm here as a mental health advocate because I also do that since the year 2017 using my art. Yeah, and I've also had an opportunity to interact with your children. Yeah, because I attend Tech Kids Africa classes just for guidance, especially with the kids. Yeah. maybe just to talk briefly about it, because I know you don't have time, we'll take a lot of your time. For me, I think it's very important to note that in as much as, I'm not going to talk tech, I'm going to talk social, and I'm going to talk about mental health, because for me, I always believe that there is no mental health without, there is no physical health without mental health. And that is the truth of the matter. If you are not okay mentally, you're not going to function. Your body is not going to function at all. And by the way, one thing I am very particular about is, and last week I was talking about it really, is because I realize that people are not talking about mental health when it comes to kids. They are not. We are not discussing children mental health. We are busy discussing about me who has lost my job, the other person who's done to do what, and we are forgetting that we have kids, and these kids also go through mental illnesses. Yeah, and I realized that kids go through a lot of this because in 2019, the beginning of 2019, and even 2018, there were a few cases. I would say many, because in Kenya that was kind of not new, but yes, new, that kids were committing suicide. Yeah, kids were committing suicide. A 10-year-old committing suicide. I mean, how do you even explain that? An 8-year-old committed suicide. How do you explain that? Yeah. And then we had a Form 2 child committing suicide. And for me, I've had time to think, especially during this COVID period, where kids are home. There are kids who are in class 8. And there are kids who are in Form 4. And for me, I think about those kids and my heart goes out to those, especially those ones, because they were ready and prepared to go, especially to the next level, to get out of the environment they are in, which is the primary school, or the environment they are in, which is a high school, to another environment. And now we are telling them, no, they can't move. Yeah. So maybe I would like to ask you and to challenge you as parents, like, have we talked to these kids? Have we had time to actually sit down with our children and to ask them, how are you, my child? How are you? Uko poa? Unaendeleaje? Niambie ukweli, uko poa? How do you feel now that you're no longer going to Form 1 next year? Do we ever sit down to actually like internalize what our kids feel? Because I think I have a problem with parents, because I think sometimes we think that providing for them is everything. I don't think so. I think sometimes we need to sit with our kids and actually have very candid conversations with them. Remember, we are facing a very big pandemic in Kenya right now, which is the teenage pregnancies. I have had 2 particular cases of 2 particular households where a brother has impregnated the sisters. 2 weeks ago, I had a case of a brother, 14-year-old, impregnating an 18-year-old, the 18-year-old sister. Yeah. So then for me, I'm wondering, like, okay, are we talking to our parents? I mean, are we talking to our kids? Well, I am a parent as well of teenagers. And I don't take it kindly when people accuse parents. Yeah. So for me, and I'm very careful about that, because it's a whole set of society. It's a whole society. Yeah, ndio unaambiwa mtoto akiwa ndani ni wako peke yako, akishatoka nje ni wa kila mtu. So maybe just to tell you, like, why should you be concerned about your child's mental health? It's because when your child's ability to function deteriorates, then it affects you, it affects everything you do. You do not go to work, you have to go to the hospital. It affects your pocket, it affects everything around you. It might actually affect the child a very big deal, and everyone surrounding that child. So the child's mental health is very important, because the moment that child's ability to, the mental health, when it's affected, then the ability for that child to actually process things becomes very difficult. Well, I don't know, but there are 3 forms of mental illnesses that we need to actually look out for, and especially that really attack our kids. Well, there's anxiety. I'm sure you know that. And then, of course, depression. And then, of course, we have ADHD. That is the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, where a child is extremely hypersensitive, or a child is in need of attention. And I'm sure we've seen such kids. And that's where you find maybe unapata msichana she's ama mvulana sana sana, maybe tuseme wasichana they're busy with boyfriends and stuff like that, or I am sure we've heard about sponsors na nini na vitu kama hizo, na unapata ukiongea na wasichana wengi, because I talk to youth a lot. In fact, I have a burden for young people, and what they say is they find those people, they give them more attention than what their parents give them. So we as parents, we are under attack, actually. We have quite a lot surrounding us, kama wazazi. So there's anxiety, there's depression, and then there's ADHD. Yeah, and for me, I would like to urge sisi kama wazazi, we need to be on the lookout for these things, because utapata watoto wetu, they have mental illnesses, but we don't know, because probably we don't know how to look out for the signs. I'll give you very, very simple examples. You see, like we have teenagers. Some of us have teenagers. Some of us have small kids. We notice that our teenagers unapata wako na moods, wako na nini, and we always assume it's always about mood swings. Yani, huyu ni teenager, ni teenager tu utaisha.
baby.
Yeah, new teenager tu utaisha. But then really, maybe it's not even about that. Maybe the child is going through quite a lot. Yeah. So for me, we need to look out for those signs where a child is scared, they are down, their spirits are down. We need to look out for poor concentration. Unapata mtoto concentrate kabisa. Umwambia ondoa hii kikombe hapa, and the next minute the cup is still there. And it's not probably the first time, the second time, the third time. Na kila wakati tu pengine unamchapa, unamfanya hivi, unamgombeza. We don't pay attention to details, because those are details. Because the moment you notice that your child is becoming extremely forgetful, then realize that maybe, and you realize it has changed from what she was before, or what he was before, then I think you need to take note and sit this child down to talk to them. You find sometimes the child is very, anakuwa na uoga sana, fear, worry, extreme feelings of guilt. Yeah. And then we also, hizo mood things, the highs and lows. It's not about huyu ni teenager, ama ameshaanza teenager. Sisi kama watu wazima, we normally have those mood swings where we have lows and highs. Is that huyu ni teenager? No, it is not. It is something that is maybe probably bugging us. I can wake up today, I do not have mood to go to work or do anything. I am not a teenager. I am a grown woman. Yeah. So when the child behaves like that, why would you say that is new teenager? Yeah. So we need to look out for such kind of things. Then we have the withdrawal. They withdraw from their friends and their activities. The things the kids used to love doing, they no longer do them. They used to talk a lot on phone, maybe with friends or whatever. They used to go out with friends and stuff. They no longer do it. Even ile kwenda nje kucheza, unapata mtoto ana withdraw kabisa. They don't want to engage in activities with other kids. You need to find out why. Maybe the child was bullied. There's that cyberbullying Paul was talking about. You find your child was in love with machines, these gadgets, laptops, and then suddenly that urge goes. Do you ever ask yourself why? Ama unasema, thank God, mtoto wangu ameanza kutumia kompyuta, ilikuwa imeanza kuleta kisirani. We need to ask ourselves questions the moment we feel like our kids have kind of changed their routine. Ukiona ni kama haendi sana kwa kompyuta, na siku hizi mbona siku hizi hata uongei na marafiki zako, kwani marafiki walienda wapi? Find out what is going on. There could be something really wrong. Yeah? And then we have low energies. Yani unapata mtoto anajivuta kabisa. The same symptoms you have you as a grown up when you feel like there is something wrong with you psychologically. It is the same things kids go through. And by the way, I'm not even talking about just teenagers or kids who are 10 years, whatever, even very small kids. And that includes 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. Kids get depression at very young ages. And if you're not careful, And that is how we end up losing kids. Yeah. And then we have some of the teenagers, they go and start using drugs. Some of them turn to sex. We have that pandemic, like I said, we have an outburst of sex, of pregnancies, left, right, and center in Kenya. Why? Are we going to say that it's because these girls are having sex to get pads that they're not even going to use? No. You would find even maybe probably 3/4 of this number, they could actually afford the pads. So why are they having sex out there at such alarming rates? The attention, and there's so much going on, yeah? And then we have antisocial behaviors, like we've talked about the kid withdrawing, yeah? We have, the kid becomes very hostile. Anakuwa na anger issues, anakuwa violent. And you will notice this if you have a very small child, and then you have a teenager or maybe a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, and they're playing, wamezoea kucheza vizuri na nini, then suddenly unapata amemsukuma yule mdogo wake. And that normally never happens. You need to start asking yourself questions. Ama hataki kucheza na yule mtoto mdogo wake yule. No, it wasn't like that. These are some of those signs we need to actually pick. It means there's something really bugging this child. Yeah? And then there's the suicidal thoughts. Suicidal thoughts. 2018 and 2019 gave me a very big shock when kids started, committing suicide. The 8-year-old, the 10-year-old, and the 12-year-old, I'm a 13-year-old committing suicide. Those 3 cases, they really shook me up. Because I started asking myself, like, what have I done as a parent that my kid could actually commit suicide? Because one of them, she was told by the mom, she asked, like, the cousins were in Nairobi. So she's asking, like, akaambia babake anataka kwenda Nairobi kutembelea wale ndugu zake wakifunga shule au makazini zake. And the dad was like, no, you can't go, nini. Na hivyo ndo ilisha, the way we just say no to our kids and we think everything is over. And the child akaenda kwa bedroom. So wamekaa, shanga mtoto amekaa sana kwa bedroom, hajatoka. Wakienda kwa bedroom wanapata mtoto na leso, amejihang na leso. And that is how she died. But then I ask myself, did she just kill herself because alikatazwa kwenda huko? Ama was it how it was said? As in, for me, it was a lot of things ambazo zilienda kwa akili yangu. We need to admit, Tech Kids Africa came in to give us education about the changing world, the technology. Yes, so we need to realize that the world has changed. These kids have changed. How I was brought up as Stephanie is not how I am bringing up my kids. My parents, I really love my parents because I am what I am because of my parents. Today, I am what I am because of my parents. I thank God. And I would really love to bring up my kids the way I was brought up. And yes, I use some of those things like, sleepers and stuff like that. Some of them I do use. But I realized the only thing that works nowadays, miracles, is dialogue. Of course, there are cases we will not dialogue, but we have to dialogue. You need to engage your kids in dialogue, like consistently, especially during this COVID period. It is very key. Kids are going through quite a lot. I have noticed, like right now, I've noticed in my house, the kids are tired of watching TV. So now I went and bought a lot of board games. They have also board games, quite different board games. After I buy them which one. So I realized they are tired of watching TV. So now, and I used to beg them to play board games with me and stuff like that. It's easy. It's them even asking me to play board games with them. And for me, that is a really big change. And there's a laptop there, kuna simu pale. Lakini, wamechoka na TV, wamechoka na hii, wamechoka na vitabu. By the way, watoto wamechoka na vitabu saizi. Let's not even force them. Sorry, I am a parent, but I will say it. Yeah, well, they're tired. Their minds are just zimeja. And then you wonder, you as a grown-up, you'd ask yourself, hii kitu ya mtoto imejaa nini? Na kuna kitu anafanya. Kazi yake ni kukaa kuangalia TV, kula, kulala. That's not true. Huyo mtoto mdogo ni kama tu wewe mtu mzima. The difference is you're just going to work to bring money and pay the rent and stuff like that. But you are the same. The things that get you tired, like your friends, the work, the what, is the same things that get the kids tired. As in, it's the same mental process that goes through any depressed person or any stressed person. or any person going through a mental illness, irrespective of the age. Yeah. We need to be very careful. Just to finish off, what I really want us to really think about, we need to create a sense of belonging for these kids. We need to make them feel kwamba wanapendwa. We need to create time with them. Saizi, we have time to spend with them. Let's try and do that. Let's try as much as possible to spend time with them. Not to sit in room and watch TV. That is not spending time with the kids. It is not. It is those board games. It's those. We are going back to factory settings. Tunacheza kati huko nje. We do the physical exercises. Those they really help, especially during this time that watoto waende nje, sijui hakuna PE, hakuna nini, and in school there is all that. And it's there for a reason, the PE, where kids go to games and stuff like that. Saizi, we are no longer doing that. If you want, kama unaenda gym, wewe kama mzazi kama unaenda gym, why can't you take your kids to the gym with you? So, we have 5 months to spend with our kids right now. If kama umeenda uko na gym sessions unakuanga nazo every day, please take your kid and go with them there. Because they're not doing any physical exercise. So you can imagine what is happening to their bodies. Everything is happening to their bodies and their mind as well. Because if your body is not fit, your mind is not fit as well. Yeah. Also, we need to encourage them to help people. Personally, I find helping people very therapeutic. So maybe we need to also develop that culture within our own kids. Yeah, kama pale kuna mfanyikazi pale nyumbani, it's not just a house help that needs to work. Sometimes our watoto pia wapumzishe house girl. Wao waambie haya, mami fanyeni hivi leo ni diteni ya kufanya, leo auntie atawa supervise. Yeah, so to say the culture of helping people, not just pale nyumbani, no. I just mean anywhere else. Ile unaweza amua leo tunaenda kupeana chakula orphanage, so that you develop that culture for them. And when they come from that activity, ask them how they feel about it. And you will utasikia vitu zenye hujaisikia. You'll even hear things from a perspective you've never known before. Yeah. We also, the physical exercise, kindly encourage your kids to do physical exercise. You don't have to go with them to the gym, but ile pia watoke wafanye mazoezi wao wenyewe kwa wenyewe, it really helps. Ama watoto waende nje pia wakacheze. Yeah. Of course, observing the COVID measures. And then also, we as parents, we really need to know the symptoms I've just talked about. I think for me, it's really key, because the moment we get to learn how to detect a child who is going through a mental illness, then I think we are going to have a better society. And then you have to develop a culture of actually having conversations with your child, not talking to your child. Is it talking to your child? But talking with your child, isn't just have a conversation with them. Develop the culture of having candid conversations with your boys, having your candid conversation with your girls, them together. Yeah. During this period, if you are a mother of a teenager or a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old, nowadays girls get periods very early. Yeah. Yeah. Very early. And we need to actually have those conversations with both the boys and the girls seated together. And we have this pregnancy thing, this conversation about the teen pregnancy with both the boy and the child there, boy and the girl there. Because I got to learn recently that when like I've told you, a 14-year-old girl impregnated an 18-year-old girl, huyo ni sisake. And apparently the dad, yeye ndo alipeleka mtoto wake prison, alimpeleka jela, hata sasa yako shimo la tewa. So I got to learn recently from a lawyer that kumbe, irrespective of whatever age a boy is, when you get a girl pregnant, wewe na wewe unaweza ingizwa ndani. That's a child ambaye ako maybe 10 years old, 11 years old nini. And those are informations that mimi sikuwa najua. Mimi mtu mzima hivi, I didn't know that mtoto mdogo kama huyo anaweza pelekwa ndani akakuwa charged. The law doesn't protect the boy child like huyo ni juvenile, so atakuwa charged kama juvenile. Yes, ni juvenile, but the charges of you impregnating an underage, they don't really define much. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying we need to have this conversation with both of them without really fearing nini ama nini, because the world has changed. Sisi kama wazazi, we need to change with the changing times, so that pia wazazi watoto wetu wasiumie. Ndio mtoto asije kusema huku niambia ulinipeleka Tech Kids ukanifundisha everything I needed to know, but why didn't you tell me about sex? Yeah. So I think basically that's that. So for me, it was just about to encourage you as parents to notice those small changes that go through our kids, and especially during this COVID period, I have noticed kids are going through quite a lot, and they're not talking about it. And apparently, when a kid is going through changes, they take a lot of time to digest. And if the parent doesn't come in to assist, just to ask, mtoto wangu waendeleaje? Mbona nakuona umebadilika? Kwa nini unalala sana? Mbona unakula chakula nyingi? Ama kwa nini haukuli? You're no longer eating the way you used to eat. Sisi tunaona ni teenager ana grow siku hizi wakisha grow wanaanza kula chakula kidogo kidogo ati wana watch weight. No, something might be going on. So let's be very quick to pick these symptoms, and let's be very quick to also ask for help. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for listening in.
Thank you so much, Equity Madam Governor. Ama the Queen herself. Thank you so much. Those were powerful insights, actually. And I've seen somebody has raised his hand. Justin, you have a question?
No, I was just clapping.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Fine. Okay. I think we are past time by 30 minutes, and
yeah,
we just have to end. As I said earlier, we'll be having this at least every month. We are having more months, actually. I think 5 months to go.
Yeah.
Finish the year before our kids go back to school.
Yeah.
So we really need to, because also us, we're going to research more and get more information to you, how to control. Because we know also these kids, there's a parent who asked me just on the chat, what if a child deletes the history after checking the wrong sites? So you get that. Okay, though we have an answer for that, because the software that Ziri has actually explained about, they're able to track all the activity the child is doing. But now they're getting smarter each and every time.
Yes.
At Tech Kids, we usually see that because they interact with technology. And that is a world you'll never take away from them. So this conversation will continue next month. The date will be communicated. You'll see the posters will be posting all over. Meanwhile, yeah, thank you so much. It has been a partnership between Swahili Pot Hub, which is our parent organization, and Tech Kids Africa. Stephanie has been there since we started talking with kids all these facts about life. Ziri is the technology manager at Swahili Pot Hub, and we'll be working together to bring you more things. The same conversation is on YouTube, recorded, so you can always go and play again and again, and we'll be sharing with you the other details on the PDF document. Otherwise, bye for now, guys. We have to leave. Bye-bye.